Hey everyone, I haven't done a video for MeleeItOnMe in such a long time. I've been really busy doing League of Legends stuff with CLG, but I miss you guys. I tune in to Slippy, and I can't believe that's actually been a year since the pandemic has started in the US. And a lot has changed. Thankfully we have Slippy, a bunch of great TOs coming in. Shouts to like my boy Homemade Waffles, BTS, and there's numerous series that I see across the week. There's like the Xanadu's, the rollbacks, the Tuesday, mode trainings, and countless others that I've been lightly tuning into just to kind of put my eyes in and just appreciate Melee for what it is. But you know what, like. Despite the fact that Slippy and these tournaments have, held their ground and, kept Melee in an alright spot in a pandemic, for a game that's traditionally known for LAN or, in-person events, you guys have all done a great job. But frankly, it's been, too long, and I understand we're so close to, getting back to in-person events. I definitely don't want to rush those things or imply that we should, open events. But, when they start to open, here are like the 5 things that I'm going to like miss and I really am going to appreciate once we get back into having in-person events again. So first off, despite the fact that we've had a lot of great matches in Slippy, there are a lot of matches that we just can't have in a tournament setting. So questions like how does Leffen do against the Americans, without lag, to, how's Europe doing as a whole, how's the OMSA doing? There's a lot of great matchups that we're being robbed of just because of the ping issues, when the network is too far away. Not a, detriment to Slippy. Slippy's done its really good work, but even with some East Coast and West Coast connections, there has been a lot of jitter, a lot of, weird things that have happened that make, it's not quite invalid, but it kind of makes the gameplay a little bit off. And so I'm really looking forward to seeing, Leffen back. If there are players that didn't really take this era of online net play as seriously, I want to see if, they come back into form and just really see, like, how everybody measures up. And I think, what's going to be really interesting here is the amount of players that are in like that round 1, round 2 pools range. I feel like there's going to be a lot of interesting upsets from players we have never heard of. Just because you're going to have a lot of net play grinders who have been playing, tons of hours during the day. And, I wouldn't be surprised if the top 100, in the first full year we come back, is going to have like 30 to 40 new players we haven't seen before. So that's one of the first things I'm really looking forward to. Second is just being in the crowd. I don't think there's anything that quite replicates, being a part of a super major, being in the crowd for a top 8, the energy that's there. I'm not quite sure how it's going to be with social distancing, and, venue restrictions and capacity restrictions, but that is one thing I really miss. Going to Evos, Genesis, Shine, Big House, you name it. There's just something extra special about being in a crowd. If you watch like the last super majors before the pandemic happened, just even watch like Big House 9. Just being a part of that crowd, especially when my boy Mago wins, it's just a different experience than just watching online. So that's another thing I'm looking forward to. But with that being said, in addition to there being giant crowds, I think the third thing I'm looking forward to is just that the sense of there being a lot more at stake. Granted, the Ludwig tournament that happened earlier this year had a huge, prize pot towards charity. I remember in League of Legends, Double have talked about this. He's a League of Legends player, about playing, remote, and how it doesn't feel as exciting when you, do this really awesome play that if you had an audience, it would all pop off and scream. You didn't really get that payoff, right? And I think there is just an added pressure that is there with a crowd in a giant stage or stadium, that is completely different than playing in like your like underwear, your shorts, or whatever you wear, at home. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how these players do in high pressure situations and situations that they're probably not going to be as comfortable or familiar with, given that it's been a year. And then number 4, this is more of a thing that came up later in my career as a Melee player, community member, but part of the traveling experience and going to these majors is I really enjoy exploring the city that I go to. So typically, I'll spend like a good afternoon or a good day in the city, exploring things that aren't Smash related. So if I go to Boston for Shine or go to Big House in Michigan, I like to take a day to explore an area that I'm not normally going to go to. And part of the fact that we haven't been able to travel that much in the past year, that's something I'm really looking forward to doing. It's not quite Smash related, but I think it comes with that major experience, especially being a little bit older now, where playing in the tournament is not a number one priority for me anymore. And then lastly, the thing that I'm most looking forward to is hanging out with the homies. There are countless friends that I have met and grown with in the past like 10 to 15 years that I miss. Miss the TO crew of like Jungle Guy, Nintendo, Crimson Blur, Sheridan, all these people, Matt.Zeb, all these people that, we always go to dinner with. We usually have a Korean barbecue experience. We all hang out, catch up, and, and pre-pandemic, we usually did this like 2 to 3 times a year. Some people are a little bit more frequent than that, and I've been a little less active, but I miss catching up. It's been a long year. I frankly don't know what a lot of my Smash friends have done in the past year, whether, successes, failures, fears, I haven't been able to catch up with them in person, and I really do miss the hangouts at a setup where we're playing, a 3 or 4 man rotation. We're just hanging out, shooting the shit, and to just walking around the venue, just reminiscing about our past, what we've been up to late night drinking, karaokeing, going to a bar and just really just hanging out and kicking it. That's the thing I miss really most about traveling to events, is that I've made so many friends over the past decade or so, and I haven't really been able to see them. So I really miss you guys. And yeah, so those are the 5 things I'm really looking forward to once Super Majors come back into fruition. And I'm kind of curious for you guys, in the comments section below, like what are the things you guys are looking forward to once majors come back and that you're able to attend them.